Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So obviously by the title of my video, you're able to see what this video is going to be about. So I'm just going to let my story be heard. And the reason I decided to do this was because when I was going through this, and currently still am, it was really hard for me. And I was online, on YouTube, on everything, trying to find out the symptoms. Is it the same as what I'm going through? Why is this happening to me? You know, it was just a phase where I was just like, and I couldn't find answers. So I decided to make this video because if I can help somebody out, you know, maybe you're going through what I was going through, then that's perfectly fine. I'm glad to be able to help you in that way and be here with you. So this is my story on what happened. Obviously you can see on there, it says that I have an ectopic pregnancy, a miscarriage. So it was very confusing for me because at 4 weeks pregnant, at 4 weeks, I found out I was pregnant. And I was so happy, like so happy to find this out. I knew my husband was going to be so happy. My little girl has been wanting to be a big sister, so she was going to be so happy. And I was just full of joy. Like, I didn't say anything at all to my husband, to nobody, because I just wanted to surprise everybody. So I went to go see my OB. Everything was great. You know, she said, "Oh, you're doing great. Everything is good." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. I'm glad to know that." So the week after, this was right now about 2 weeks ago. So the week after that, I started feeling some weird pains, and I was like, man, this isn't right. So I called my OB and she wasn't able to see me. So I went to the ER. And, you know, they do the ultrasound, ask you, you know, are you bleeding, anything like that? And I was like, no, I'm not bleeding. Everything is fine. I just have pains. And the pains that I was feeling were more like inside. It wasn't like abdomen pain. I just felt like inside, and I had lower back pains. So from then on, yeah, I was just like, they just told me, okay, you know, it seems like you're fine. And I was like, okay, then I'll just kind of suck it up, right? So the day after, it was a Wednesday, and I was feeling pains again at work. I would get up and be like, oh, you know, so I just like, okay, the doctor said I'm fine, let me keep going. And Thursday came, and again, I felt pain. Like pain around the same time that I did Wednesday. It was around noon that I got the same pain, and I was like, you know what, this just isn't right. So I went to the ER, and they're like, you know what, I think you're possibly having a miscarriage. And I felt like my whole world just shattered, like real quick. It was like the hardest thing, and I just didn't understand why this was happening to me. And yeah, it was just really hard. Obviously, you can tell it's still really hard for me now. I didn't really say anything, just okay. And I got home. My husband's like, hey, what's going on? You know, and remember, my husband did not know about this because I wanted to surprise him, and I didn't want to tell him because then I felt like it was real. I just didn't want to tell him. So basically, that Saturday, I got horrible pain, like horrible pain. I remember I got up, my husband and my daughter were already in the living room watching TV, and I was gonna make food. And then I literally leaned over and I was like, oh my God, like it hurt so bad. Like my legs, I could feel it all in my back, and I felt like my uterus was just like I was telling my husband, like, I feel like I'm getting stabbed. Like it hurt so bad, and my pain tolerance level is really high. I usually don't like to take painkillers, nothing like that, until I'm like in that serious pain. And I was still trying to tough it out. I was like, oh my God, it was just too much. I felt like I was going into labor. So my husband was like, you know what, we need to take you to the ER. I had told him, you know, then that this was going on, this was a miscarriage happening, and or one doctor had told me it could be an ectopic pregnancy, but he kind of just pushed it to the side, and that's when they told me it was a miscarriage. So I let my husband know, and he was like, well, you know, you have to be pregnant for that to be happening. And I was like, yeah, I'm about 5 weeks pregnant. And my husband was trying to process like the pregnancy he didn't know about and the possibility of losing his child. So it was very hard for us. I was in so much pain, like so much pain. And my husband was like, you know what, let's go. And once I got there, the doctor took my blood, obviously, and they were like, you know what, your levels seem to be going down, so it could be a miscarriage, but we don't know for sure because of your pains you're having. So we did the ultrasound, and I guess they said, oh, maybe on your left tube is where it could be happening. And I was just like, okay. Like, I was just so numb that I was just like, okay, it's fine. So the doctor told me that I needed to actually stay there and be admitted, because if it was in my tube and it ruptures, obviously it could be, you know, life-threatening. Really hard for me that night. I just felt like I did a million things wrong, and I was just so hurt by it. But, you know, it's hard for anybody that's going through that. So I completely understand, and I was just trying to just get into a little bubble because I don't know, I guess I felt embarrassed or something that this was happening to me. But my husband was super supportive, and I appreciate him so much for that. So when I was there and got admitted, the doctor came in and she told me, you know what, we're gonna do a D&C because it's a miscarriage. So maybe when we take it out, all the pain will be gone. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I stayed the night. The morning came and I got ready for D&C. So I believe it's called the D&C, if I'm saying it right. And basically that is, you know, they go into all up in there to clean you out. And yeah, so I did that. I got out the same day, and 2 days from then, the doctor was like, come get your blood taken out. So I went. The next morning she calls me and she's like, you know what, your blood levels are going up again. The HCG levels are going up again. And I was like, how is that possible when we did the D&C? And she was like, you need to go to the ER. They're gonna give you a shot. And the shot, I believe, was called methotrexate, if I'm saying it correct. If not, I'll still write it down here below. And I was like, okay. So I called up my husband. I was like, you know what, I have to go to the ER to get this shot. I'll be back. Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. And he said, okay, that's fine. So I go, and they're just like, you know what, we can't give you the shot because of your liver enzymes or something, that we're not able to give it to you because they're a little bit high. That I needed to be admitted because I could be having an ectopic pregnancy. So again, I felt like this just isn't over with. Like, I have to keep going through this the whole time. Like, it's already hard as it is to be thinking about it, or that you've gone through this. But, you know, like, I felt like I went through the D&C and it was over with, and I could continue and just grieve a little bit and keep going. And it just seemed like it was a never-ending thing. One of the doctors comes in and she's like, I'm sorry, we have to remove your tube. Just like that. And I was just like it was just so hard for me. I was like, how are you gonna remove my tube? Like, I need you to make sure this is correct. Like, you did my D&C. Supposedly that was gonna help me, and I looked at it and it was for nothing. Like, you literally did it for nothing. So please make sure this is something serious for you to take out my tube. I don't want you to take it out for nothing. So I had another doctor come in, and she was like, you know what, Diane, we're gonna keep you here, keep you on IV fluids, and prepare you for surgery in the morning. So I stayed there, called my husband. I was like, you know what, I'm being admitted. And he rushed over there and they didn't let him in. Because of everything going on right now, hospitals aren't allowing visitors. And I just like broke down so much. Like to think, oh my God, like I have to go through all this by myself, and it was just hard for me. I just felt like I needed my husband there. And then I got really upset because, you know, the whole situation, but I get it. They want to be safe, and that's okay. So I ended up just accepting it. I told my husband, it's okay. Go get our daughter from my mom's house, because my mom was taking care of our daughter. And I was like, go home. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. I'm going to be fine. Basically, all night I had IVs in me, and literally my arm is still bruised by them. Not as bad as they were, but still pretty bad. You could obviously see the bruising, but both arms are like that. Waited the morning, she was like, you know what, your liver enzymes or levels went down, so we're able to give you the shot. And I felt like it was like a big old thing lifted off of me, and I was like, okay, great, I'm glad. And I got the shot, and I guess I'm supposed to get blood taken out twice a week. So I did that. I went yesterday actually, and she told me everything's going good. It seems like the levels are going down, so I have to go again tomorrow and see if it's still continuing to go down. And I guess I'm gonna have to go every week, once a week, until it hits 0. So it's a process that I'm going through, and I'm still trying to accept it. It's still really hard for me to talk about. Once I left the hospital, I had family members message me like, hey Diane, I heard you're at the hospital, are you okay? And I was like, no, everything's fine. I was just there for pain. So for anybody that asked me, I was like, I'm there for pain, just pain. Like, I didn't want to talk about it. I was so hurt by it. I just couldn't imagine this was going on with me, you know? Basically, I'm still going through it. I know it's really hard, but you know, for the people that have gone through this, I know we kind of put ourselves in a bubble, but there's a lot of women who experience this, and I guess it's taboo to a lot of people to still talk about. But I wanted to talk about it because it's such a difficult topic, and I'm here for you with whatever you're going through. I know it's really hard, but you will get through this. You know, for me, the doctor, I felt like I was never going to be able to have a child again. And still now, every night since everything's been happening, I pray and I'm like, I hope I get the opportunity to be a mom again. Because I have a beautiful little girl, and she's 4 years old. She's healthy, she's active, she's, you know, everything. And I just wanted to experience it again. So the doctor told me after taking the shot to wait 3 months, and I'm able to try again. We're just gonna have to wait it out. Hopefully everything goes good, and you know, my levels keep going down. If you've gone through this, please tell me your story in the comments below, or stuff that maybe you experienced, symptoms you experienced because of other women are going through this. Maybe you can help them by telling them the type of symptoms you had. Because mine, I didn't have bleeding at all. It was just pain and stabbing pain. I'm telling you. And it wasn't in my lower abdomen. It was like inside my uterus, feeling like I was getting stabbed the whole time. So please leave a comment, like. Thank you for hearing me out and hearing my story. It actually took me some courage and build up to try to make this video. I feel very relieved that I did. It helps for me to talk about it. And you know, for other women experiencing this, I feel you. I know what you're going through, and I know it's hard, but we're gonna get through this. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, leave a comment of stuff that you went through, or just anything in general. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you. I'll see you guys again.